Moving on with our agenda. Next up, we have Neeraj Sinha. Neeraj is a software engineer with Geeky Ants. He works with us, and he is going to be talking about managing notifications in React Native using Firebase cloud messaging (FCM) and Notifee. So let's have Neeraj Sinha on the screen now.
Hello, Digvijay.
How are you doing, Neeraj?
I'm doing fine. I hope you're doing fine too.
I'm doing well. I was so used to seeing you around in the office. It's been such a long time.
So,
It's good
so
to
it's the
see you.
same with you, man. And sun has been
Yeah.
really kind on your face.
Oh, thank you so much. I just stay indoors a lot. I think that's helped my glow.
Yeah.
Anyway, great. So, as an introduction to Neeraj, he is a full stack developer. He has worked in so many different things that it's hard to count. But what I can tell you about him is that he is a fast bowler.
Yeah.
You're a right-handed fast bowler.
Yeah.
If I'm
That's my alter ego, I guess.
That's his alter ego. There you go, folks. You straight from the horse's mouth. Anyway, Neeraj, I'm going to leave you to our viewers, and I hope you have fun. Take it away.
Okay. Um, Hello, everyone. My name is Neeraj Sinha. I have been working with PKN for last 2 years, and for those last 2 years, I have been working with React Native, Laravel, and everything in between. And I hope my screen is visible to every one of you now. I would be talking about managing notifications on React Native using Firebase Cloud Messaging with Notifee. Before starting this, I would like to talk about Firebase, and also I would like to talk about why I chose Firebase Cloud Messaging. Basically, Firebase is a cloud service which provides us with a lot of services like cloud storage, database, authentication, messaging, in-app messaging, um, remote notifications, Firebase cloud functions, and all. So cloud messaging is just one of the part. And talking about Firebase cloud messaging, it's a notification service which can be used to send push notification and in-app messages in iOS and Android application. Also, it supports web if you are into push notifications in web. Some of the key capabilities of Firebase Cloud Messaging includes one of the ability to send push notification along with data messages. By data messages, I mean silent notification. Let's say you have muted a chat, but you want to send the chat using a notification only, and you want to update your local database. So you can have a listener for your data messages, and if the notification object doesn't exist, we don't show a push notification. We just calculate and handle other things in the background. Versatile message targeting. We can send a notification to single devices, a group of devices, and also in Android we can have subscription to topics. So a user can be subscribed to a particular topic, and we can send a notification to that topic. Also, we have an ability to send notification from a client application. So there is no API needed if we want to just trigger an event or trigger a message from a client application just to another client. Uh, Talking about how does FCM work, and FCM implementation includes two main components. Basically, a server, which could be your backend, or maybe you can do around with cloud functions. You can both in your backend and your cloud functions. You can use Firebase SDK to send the messages, and you can identify users using tokens. And as I mentioned earlier, you can also send messages to the particular topics. On your client side, since we're talking React Native here, our client app would be a React Native app, and we would be using a JavaScript client for React Native messaging to work with. Also, if we want to test, we can send notifications using Firebase console, which we have available. And also we can send notifications using some HTTP APIs. We have some REST APIs available, which are exposed. So if you run into some kind of situation where Firebase SDK is not available for your particular server, you can make use of the REST APIs. This is a brief illustration of how the architecture of FCM is actually. So first of all, we have a message building and targeting service. So either we can build the messages through our the console of the Firebase. Might be we want to send a Christmas notification or a Christmas wish to everyone. Maybe we want to test our notification to a particular set of devices. We can use a notification console in our Firebase GUI. We can use admin SDK in our backend, any of the backend. I think whichever language you're using, Firebase SDK is available to all of you. And also we have HTTP APIs, which we can make use of if we run into any kind of scenario at all. Then our FCM backend handles those notification and it corresponds to those layers which are required to send the notification to the particular devices. Say Android has its own transport layer for notification, iOS has APNs, and web has something going around for their browsers to send the push notifications. Firebase handles them on. You just have to send the notifications to a particular user. Coming to installation with React Native, it's pretty simple. If you have installed Firebase in your React Native project, I would strongly suggest you go through the documentation to install Firebase and the core functionality of Firebase in your in your React Native application first. And if you have Firebase installed, installing Firebase messaging should not be a problem to you. You just have to add the app module if you haven't already, and you have to add the messaging module. And just like that, we all know we go to iOS, we do pod install. We don't have to link our packages anymore like before. So after React Native 60 point something, it's a very cool experience to install something. Coming to usage, uh, first of all, before coming to usage, I would like to talk about permissions. So in an Android app, you any application which is installed in your device has a permission to show a notification. But in iOS, similar to camera permission or a location permission on your Android application, in iOS you have to explicitly request for the notification you that this app needs to show a notification to you, and if that app has to if that app has a permission to show the notification. So this is the function which you can use to show the ask for the notification permission for the user. You can bootstrap this in the root of your application, or if you want to request permission explicitly, maybe through your setting page or something, you can do that too. Coming to actually receiving the messages, so our application can be divided into three kinds of state: a foreground state, a quit state, and a background state. So for Firebase messaging, uh, the foreground state is when our app is open, this in the screen when our app is running. When our app is minimized and the app is running on the background, we consider this background state. And if the app is killed or closed or the RAM is clear on anything, we call this a quit state. So for foreground state, we have a on message handler, and for background state and the kill state, we have a set background message handler, which would listen for the notification in the background when our app is not. Coming to the actual notification, whenever we are sending a notification through Firebase SDK or through a HTTP API, a notification of FCM message object would consider of a typical two payloads: a notification payload, and a data payload. Data payload would be an addition to your notification if you want to show a push notification, and it would be just the payload if you don't want to show a notification. Notification is the payload which you want to show, which you want to send to the particular transport layer. Let's say it's an Android transport layer or APNs. So that data is used to show the push notification. And if you don't send the notification object, it would be a silent notification, and it would only be handled on message handler. in the foreground. Foreground state messages are handled something like that. You can have a on message listener, you can console log it, you can have a modal saying that you have received this notification, or you can update your local database, or you can send an API or anything. It returns the unsubscribed handler for you, so you can really easily use this in a user set. uh, Going to the background or quick state messaging, we have to give a headless handler to the set background message handler, and the remote message would be handled in this background handler. But also, if you're sending the notification payload with your FCM message object, the notification will always have been displayed before coming to this handler. And the background message handler, it works differently on both iOS and Android. In Android, it is a headless JavaScript process, and it is rendered separately apart from your root of the application. The view part, the app.js basically, the root of your application doesn't get rendered. Only the function you have passed to the set background handler would be running in a headless JavaScript task. Although iOS doesn't support this, and so it renders the root element even if you're calling for a headless JavaScript handler. We have a get around for this. We can have a is headless prop, and if is headless prop is true, we can return null instead of returning our app. But this is headless prop is not provided to us by default. We can manually insert this by modifying our appdelegate.m file, which is in our iOS directory, and we have to edit that quite a lot if we are installing some things. So this is an example of how we can edit it, and we can have a headless prop for this. Um, I think I have covered what FCM is, and now I'll come why I would use Notifee if I'm using FCM. So throughout version 4, till version 4, Firebase was something like full on your client to show your notification, receive the notifications, and send notification. Now Firebase is moving more towards being a cloud service and only be responsible just to deliver you the notification, not to show the notification, letting you rely on a third party application to show and request permissions and handle your notification. So Notifee is a fork of version 4 of Firebase React Native Firebase messaging and notifications. It is built on top of that only. It has a lot of features which you can use. So if you are looking for a very basic integration of Firebase cloud messaging, and you just want to receive notifications, you don't want any kind of customization, maybe sacrificing the ability of having a pop-up notification in Android, and maybe some more caveats if you're okay with just receiving the notification, coming to the notification tray and handling those, then you should probably stick around with the basic integration of Firebase Cloud Messaging. However, if you want any kind of customization like a pop-up notification, maybe a different sound, maybe a different duration to stay, maybe something else, then you have to install Notifee as a third-party notification handler for your Firebase Cloud Messaging messages. And coming to the features Notifee has. Uh, in Android, we have advanced channel and group management. Like we can group our notifications in some way. We can have different channels. Let's say different sound for different kind of notification. We can have custom appearances using HTML styling, custom icons. We can have behavior managements like different vibration pattern, different notification light, different sounds. We can have some on-ground, foreground service notification. Let's say we want to show a download progress indicator. Let's say we want to say that you have downloaded this XKB of file. That is possible when we are using Notifee. We have some other customization like progress indicators. action button like reply and mark as seen, as you can see on WhatsApp. These are the customization we can make using Notifee on Android. Also on iOS, we have advanced permission management. Let's say we just want to uh, ask permission for sound. We just want to ask permission for pop-up. We just want to ask permission for background handling. We can do that using this advanced permission handler in Notifee. Just to bear in mind that Notifee is a complete different package from Firebase messaging, and you have to explicitly ask permission for this as well. And you have different methods for showing the notification, and you have different methods for handling the notifications as well. Behavior management such as custom sounds, and also showing critical notification and normal notification in Android. Also we can provide an action and categories to our notification if we are using Notifee and we are doing React Native in iOS. Displaying a notification looks something like this. We have a display notification function, and we just provide a title and body. Anything we provide under the Android object, Android parameter, it gets passed to Android. Anything we provide through iOS parameter, it get passed to iOS notification channel. And also, if we provide title inside the Android, and if we provide title inside the iOS, we can have different notification for iOS and Android as well. The channel ID is something like in Android, I think from Android 8, we have to have a default channel, or we have to have some channel to show the notification. We just create a channel, and in this channel, we can either have default channel or we can have high priority channel. We can pass our custom priority variables, and we can show the notification that way. We On Android, we have to pass some channel ID to show the notification. On iOS, only if you want some kind of customization, then only you have to pass something else. Either way, you would be fine with display notification. Integration with FCM, if you are simply going for a simple integration, it looks just like that. On message handler and set background handle message handler can be handled with single function. And I am assuming that you are sending all your notification object to messaging.data.notify, and then message.data.notify, I'm sorry. And here I had to JSON parse it, and then I would call the same function as above, a display notification. And so this way, every notification can be handled in the our backend server only, and our front end just be doing the task to show the notification which is being sent from our backend. Also, you have to keep in mind that you don't have to send the notification object if you're using this Notifee, because if you're sending notification object, the notification will be showed by Firebase Cloud Messaging SDK already. So here we will only send silent notification, and after receiving those messages, we'll be showing those messages using Notifee. I'll strongly suggest go through the documentation of Notifee once. They have specific use cases for making content available to true for iOS important messages, some Android caveats as well. That will be it for my today's talk. If anyone has any question, bring them along, please. Thank you for your time.
Hi again, Neeraj.
Thank you.
In fact, we do have some questions for you.
Hey.
Uh, John Francis is asking, how will you
Mhm.
handle notification click/actions? For example, if he wants to take the user to some page inside an app on clicking on the notification. So how would you manage that?
Okay, John, if you are showing notifications using Firebase Cloud Messaging, you will have a notification opened a notification opened listener in your app. So whenever a notification is open, you'll have a console, or sorry, you'll have a event that will be triggered. And if you're using Notifee, you can use it both ways, just like notification open handler. And also you can have an event which can track for each, like even an action praise. Even you can have an event listener for if the user dismisses the action, then also you can do something with your app.
Okay, I hope that answers John's questions. Kiran is asking, Headless.js does not work for iOS. Is there any way to make it work for iOS?
Yeah, Kiran, Headless.js does not work on iOS. Actually, our whole app is rendered on the background. So the way I explained that we can manually insert a is headless prop to our application, and we can conditionally check that if we have the is headless prop, we would not render the application. We would just set the background handler. That way, our background application just has the Headless.js intended Headless.js task, and our front foreground application has the render elements.
Okay, I hope that answers your question, Kiran. And lastly, I have a question for you, Neeraj.
Okay. Mhm.
I saw that there's the periodic table on your t-shirt. What's in the middle?
Okay, so it's basically Mercury, which is dressed like Freddie Mercury.
Where did you get this from? Can I get one? Can you get one for me?
I'll send you a link.
You send me that link.
If
I love your t-shirt. You send me a link.
I'll send it today only, man. Thank you.
Perfect, perfect. All right, Neeraj, thank you so much for your time. Of course, like all of our other speakers, we would love to have you till the end of this event. So,
Excuse me, Digvij, I
yeah.
see one other question in the comments, so if I can interrupt
Oh
you,
yeah,
I think.
go ahead.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so Naveen, if you want to know about deep linking, what I have done is I'm using React Navigation version 5, and I'm just listening to the events, which is the notification open events, and the whichever actions I'm getting, I'm conditionally checking where I should send my app, and React Navigation has been really easy to send my app or handle it in any way. Also, Sachin, you want to ask the difference between Firebase and AWS. I don't think it would be like comparing apples to oranges. Firebase is basically a cloud service which provides you a lot of things which are available to you by default. If you want to compare AWS, maybe we want to compare with Google Cloud, not with Firebase. Thanks for your time, man. Thanks again, Digvijay. Thank you for
Thank you.
letting.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you and stick around. We'll see you at the end of the event.
Yeah, sure.